I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. The unsealed indictment showing Special Counsel Jack Smith's allegations against Donald Trump are far more damaging than I think even most legal observers thought it was going to be. Who knew it was going to be damaging, myself included. We knew that the information and facts and evidence that Special Counsel Jack Smith was gathering against Donald Trump would have smoking guns, but this is the smoking gun of smoking gun of smoking gun indictments. Very powerful. I want to break it down with you. All of the key allegations in this that are backed by photographs, are backed by text messages, are backed by under oath testimony given by other witnesses against Donald Trump. So let's go through this unsealed indictment. United States of America versus Donald Trump and Waltine Nauta. That's Walt Nauta, Donald Trump's valet when Donald Trump was in the White House, and thereafter he was Donald Trump's executive assistant and personal aide after Donald Trump left the White House. Going to paragraph 3 of the unsealed indictment, it talks about how the classified documents Trump stored in his boxes included information regarding defense weapon capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. The unauthorized disclosure of these classified documents could put at risk the national security of the United States, foreign relations, the safety of the United States military and human sources, and the continued viability of sensitive intelligence collection methods. You go to the charges. We'll go through a lot more of this unsealed indictment, but going to the charges, there are 38 separate counts that have been brought in this unsealed criminal indictment. They include charges for willful retention of national defense information. Those are charges 1 through 31, counts 1 through 31 rather. And then the other counts 32 through 38 involve conspiracy, involve obstruction of justice, and involve making false statements. So if you go, for example, to the various counts, and we look at counts 1 through 31, for example, on page 28, 29, and 30. Let's just take a look at count 5, for example, because the different counts relate to different documents, highly classified documents, top secret documents that were willfully retained by Donald Trump against the law. So look at number 5. Number 5 is a document dated June 2020 concerning nuclear capabilities of a foreign country. Count 6, documents dated June 4, 2020 concerning White House intelligence briefing relating to various foreign countries. Look at count 8. Document dated October 4th, 2019 concerning military capabilities of a foreign country. Count number 9, undated document concerning military attacks by a foreign country. Count number 10, documents dated November 2017 concerning the military capabilities of a foreign country. So these are some of the most highly classified, some of the most top secret, sensitive, compartmented information that exists in our country. Going back to the factual allegations in the complaint, the complaint discusses how on at least 2 occasions in 2021, Donald Trump showed classified documents to others as follows. 6A, in July 2021 at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have classified it, and now I can't, but this is still a secret. Paragraph 6B discusses how in August or September 2021 at the Bedminster Club, Trump showed a representative of his political action committee who did not possess a security clearance, a classified map related to a military operation, and told that representative that he should not be showing it to the representative and that the representative should not get too close to it. This unsealed indictment has numerous text messages that were exchanged between Donald Trump's aides. Donald Trump doesn't use a cell phone and doesn't use email, but we have here the text messages of Walt Nauta to other aides, to other employees, to even members of Donald Trump's family, talking about how Donald Trump was intimately familiar with where these boxes were, that Donald Trump was the one telling Walt Nauta and others to move these boxes, that Donald Trump himself, and this is a direct quote from the unsealed indictment, on one occasion wanted to pluck certain documents so that he could keep certain documents, and that the movement of the documents, what was contained in these boxes, Donald Trump at all times was the one directing where these things went. Here, this is on page 11, for example. This talks about how on April 5th, 2021, an employee of the office of Donald J. Trump texted another employee of the office to ask whether Trump's boxes could be moved out of the business center to make room for staff to use it as an office. Trump employee 2 replied, "Whoa, okay." So POTUS specifically asked Walt for those boxes to be in the business center because they are his papers. Later that day, Trump employee 1 and Trump employee 2 exchanged the following text messages. Trump employee 2, "We can definitely make it work if we move his papers into the lake room." Trump employee 1, "There is still a little room in the shower where his other stuff is. It is only his papers he cares about. There's some other stuff in there that are not papers. Could that go to storage, or does he want everything in there on property?" Trump employee 2, "Yes, anything that's not beautiful mind paper boxes can definitely go to storage. Want to take a look at the space and start moving tomorrow AM." And then the complaint, or this unsealed indictment rather, has numerous photographs of where boxes were moved, where boxes were hidden. We're talking about in the auditorium, we're talking about in a shower, we're talking about in a bathroom. And there's even one incident where Walt Nauta goes into a room where highly classified information in a box is tipped over. So all of the classified information is all over the floor. Look, you can see from this photo the classified information and the classified paper that is on the floor. And you can see that because the first page has the classified markings on it. And then you go to, here's another example of text messages, because this whole thing is text messages showing Donald Trump moving it. When Donald Trump would be asked by the archives to do something, he would give instructions to his staff to do the exact opposite. Even when Donald Trump was subpoenaed, he told his lawyers to basically do the exact opposite of what he was being asked, and all of that is detailed. But look, let's go to page 22 and 23. This is paragraph 58. Pull it up right here. It says the following. On May 24, 2022, between 5:30 and 5:38 p.m., Nauta removed 3 boxes from the storage room. On May 30th, 2022, at 9:08 a.m., Trump and Nauta spoke by phone for approximately 30 seconds. Between 10:02 a.m. and 11:51 a.m., Nauta removed a total of approximately 50 boxes from the storage room. On May 30th, 2022, at 12:33 p.m., a Trump family member texted Nauta, "Good afternoon, Walt. Happy Memorial Day. I saw you put boxes to POTUS room. Just FYI, and I will tell him as well, not sure how many he wants to take on Friday on the plane. We will not have a room for them. Plane will be full with luggage. Thank you. Nauta replied, "Good afternoon, ma'am." Smiley face emoji. It seems like this is Melania, but we could only surmise. "Thank you so much. I think he wanted to pick from them. I don't imagine him wanting to take the boxes. He told me to put them in the room and that he was going to talk to you about them." In other words, Trump himself wanted to pick from the boxes the documents that he wanted to keep. And why is this date specifically important, May 30th, 2022? Because in May of 2022, Donald Trump received a subpoena from the Department of Justice to turn over all of the classified material, and the Department of Justice officials then showed up at Mar-a-Lago on June 3rd, 2022, when they were invited by Donald Trump's lawyer, and Donald Trump's lawyer, based on the allegations in this unsealed indictment, was also being lied to by Donald Trump and basically told that there were only 38 additional classified records to turn over to the Department of Justice when there was at least 100 other classified records and thousands of other government records that Donald Trump was concealing. But there, Donald Trump wanted to pick from it himself. And so it goes on, the unsealed indictment, to talk about how then in June of 2022, Donald Trump's lawyers gave a false attestation under penalty of perjury in response to a subpoena that was sent by the Department of Justice, stating that that all of the documents were returned. One of Donald Trump's attorneys stated that Trump made a funny motion as though, well, okay, why don't you take them with you to your hotel room? And if there's anything really bad in there, like, you know, pluck it out, just pluck out the document. And that was the motion he made. He didn't say that. That's on page 25. And then it talks about the search warrant that was executed at Mar-a-Lago, where all of these documents were discovered after a false attestation, a false statement under penalty of perjury was made by Donald Trump's lawyers after Donald Trump continued to lie. There's actually one incident recounted here as well. When the Department of Justice showed up at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump himself showed up and he said, "I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide here." And Donald Trump was, of course, lying. So as I mentioned, there are 38 counts. Counts 1 through 31 are for willful retention of national defense information. Count 32, obstruction of justice. Going to count 33, withholding of document or records. Count 34, corruptly concealing a document or record. Count 35, concealing a document in a federal investigation. Count 36, scheme to conceal. Count 37, false statements and representations. And those were statements made also on behalf of Donald Trump by his lawyers, who he directed to tell them that there were that everything was returned and no further documents existed. And count 38 is false statements and representations as well. You'll see on page 44 that this was signed by the foreperson of the grand jury. And even though Jack Smith is the special counsel bringing these charges, ultimately a grand jury of Donald Trump's peers was responsible on voting for this indictment. So this went before a grand jury. A grand jury viewed the facts that we just talked about, and they were the ones who voted to indict Donald Trump. So there you have it, folks, a breakdown of everything that's in this unsealed indictment. And again, very specific facts, photographs, text messages, under oath testimony. This is as powerful of an indictment as you'll see. It's often referred to as a narrative indictment or a speaking indictment, in that it tells the whole story. It lays out everything. And it does that purposefully for the public, so that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's allies know what Special Counsel Jack Smith has uncovered. And again, incredibly, incredibly damning stuff. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. And have a great day. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.MeidasTouch.com.